Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 and our chats with Emily as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson. We are in the Johnson edition. We turn out of poem 781. To wait an hour is long. Now, Emily here playing around with the idea of time. Ironically, she only does it in 4 lines. We've often said about Emily's short poems, this quatrain poem, we've often said about these short poems that we will quote from her poem 1063, ashes denote fire was. In other words, just because these poems are short doesn't mean that Emily's not going to push us, and this is a classic example of that. This is going to be a poem that will push us to think about 2 concepts that are interrelated in some profound ways. Love and time. And the ways in which this poem may be about Emily's would-be lover, Sam Boyles, or some other would-be lover. It's hard for us to know because Emily herself will never tell us, confide to us exactly what it is that's going on. One more reason we called our series Chats with Emily. And of course, if we could have a chat with Emily, one of the questions we would ask is, who are you actually writing about in 781? Do you have someone in mind that for you would love to imagine you're going to get to spend eternity with? Now, our assumptions, I think you've been following our stuff at LearnStrong.net. Down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily is our playlist. Hopefully you've worked through our set of introductory comments where we mentioned the importance of Sam Boyles in Emily's life. And as well, the preceding 780 poems, we just finished with 780, The Truth is Starless. And if you have done this reading with us, you'll be able to place this poem within the context of all those earlier poems where Emily's playing around with the idea of love and time. Now, Emily is in many ways the great poet of anticipation. I would write that down and just think about it. She is the great poet of longing, of course, and the great poet of pain and loneliness, no doubt we've seen this. But she's also the great poet of anticipation. What is it that she's looking for? It's one of the reasons why she loves the word hope so much, as we saw in the last poem. Here, we're back to Emily as well, playing with opposites, so you can write that down. Notice the opposites of this poem. I think there's some Shakespeare and possibly even some Romeo and Juliet standing behind this set of lines. Let's see if we can validate that. To wait an hour is long, if love be just beyond. To wait eternity is short, if love reward the end. Now think about the power of Romeo and Juliet. You'll remember in Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 2, that famous line, love goes toward love, as schoolboys from their books, but love from love toward school with heavy looks. What are we saying? Well, right away, we're making some comparisons. Notice, to wait an hour is long. Time is relative as it relates to the topic of love. Some of you have maybe had this experience where, for example, you're sitting with a significant other and all of a sudden you're told by some adult figure, it is time for that conversation to end because 5 hours have elapsed. And it feels like 5 minutes have elapsed. You've also been in situations where to sit for an hour felt like an eternity beyond eternity because there was no love involved. Some of you may be thinking about some of the classes that you sat through in your life at a place like Worland High, where you could be in a class for 10 minutes that feels like 10 hours, or you can be with somebody for just a brief period of time, but if love is involved, it can seem so quick and so majestic. She'll say it, to wait an hour is, notice the dashes. It's brilliant the way she uses the dashes, right? She breaks it up. You could easily ask, why the dashes? Why not just say, to wait an hour is long? She wants to break the very idea up with dash is long, dash. In other words, she's playing an iconic game literally on the page with you. The dashes break it up. Can we say it this way? The dashes make the line longer. Get it? If love be just beyond. Now, I think you will circle the word just, because I think that is the key word of the poem, because that takes us back to our study of Plato's Republic and the question of justice. What is just? What does it mean? Fair, just, right, true, if you will, to borrow from the previous poem. If love be just beyond. In other words, out of reach. We think of poor Tantalus in his underworld in Hades, where he is looking for his pomegranate so he has something to eat. And at the last second when he grabs for the pomegranate, what happens? The breeze blows it out of his grasp for eternity. Or he's dying of thirst, standing in a pool of water, but every time he leans down to get a drink, the water recedes from just far enough. He never, of course, our word tantalizing coming from this story. Yes, Emily says, if love is just out of reach, man, an hour can feel like an eternity. Then the second half of the quatrain. To, notice, wait eternity. So she uses the same formulation as the first line. To wait eternity, notice capitalized. Dash is short. Dash. If love, notice capitalized. Reward, the end. Now many have read this as a love poem. And certainly I think you can. That is to say, if I can be with you through eternity, Emily seems to be suggesting, I can wait. I can wait because I have that anticipation of what's coming. My time to be with you will be for eternity, not for an hour. I think at 2a, the point here, though, is that the promise of love is all that really matters. For Emily, right, she said it, it's easy to work when the heart is at play. And she's playing around with a similar idea here. At 2b, of course, the opposites, hour versus eternity, long versus short. At 3a, well, I've made the argument for a while now, guys, that I think T.S. Eliot was very influenced by Emily Dickinson. And you'll remember in East Coker, his famous line, love is most nearly itself, when here and now cease to matter. Finally, at 3b, what is something that you're willing to wait forever on? Is it possible it's this study that will take you all the way to poem 1775? That's a long ways away. Thank you.